Hey, what's going on, guys? So, there's a few things that I really feel have really powerfully impacted the way that I feel I've been able to explore the dimensions of dance. And one of them being just really being observant to all the dimensions around you. Now, instantly, I would say it's important to understand the dimensions that you can perceive. Things maybe in like the camera lens, things that are behind you. That's one really important thing to emphasize. And naturally, secondarily, something like a mirror, when you can see into a mirror and you're able to really focus on these fine-tuned elements, this is very helpful to really emphasize either using the camera or using a mirror to see these perceived dimensions that are all around you and allow yourself to just openly explore that. Now, I would say almost the contrast of that would be to just simply allow your focus to be very much focused on your hands, of what you're doing. And I feel with a lot of dance, movement within the body, it's not something that really is emphasized a lot when you're, say, doing your dance. I mean, maybe when you're learning certain tuts and certain sort of choreography, it's very relevant to want to focus on the dimensions, understand spatial awareness. This is very valid, but I think simply when you're doing gloving, when you're doing micro dimensions or micro tuts, it's extraordinarily important to really understand your spatial awareness, to play it, and really giving that your full attention when you're dancing. Like I've noticed many times, I'll just slip into an autopilot where I'll be more focused on how I'm perceived from the camera or how it feels with my body, and I just simply look forward and glance at my fingers and everything tightens up, everything really changes. So that's something to keep in mind continually. It's just being very aware of your spatial awareness and how this relates to the dimensions that are immediate and in front of you or the perceived dimensions around you. Just creating dimension. Like this is sort of what I found myself really, really taking away when I was getting deep into gloving, and this is really when it all began to really make more sense. Was understanding it's not just about these specific techniques and drilling these things out so your mind and your muscle memory and all that just catches up and understands it. No, it's getting to a certain point where you can understand where it's all going. You almost see like the philosophy of it, the elasticity, the ebb and the flow, the giving and the receiving. It's very much the yin and yang of that's within the interplay that is always going on, right? So just very much like Tai Chi, this is where I often find myself drawing that exact parallel, because it is very much very identical in various motions. When it really comes down to it, it is applying that framework and that fluidity and finding the time when to really allow yourself to introduce these shifts, introduce these dynamic shifts or very subtle shifts and whatever you really feel your body wants to express, right? Because this is something I feel isn't really emphasized enough, at least not in the gloving paradigm, but you see some glovers, some artists or flow artists, they really are good at encapturing and embodying emotion within gloving. They're very, very much using some sort of body movement where they're essentially creating choreography, or maybe they're just doing actions that are very, very intensive. And I feel within gloving, like be it if you're even just doing the more technical grid work or whatever it is, right, or the tuts and dials, each of these motions has an imprint, has a somatic imprint or an energetic imprint. And what I noticed a long time ago was that each of my techniques, pretty much all of them I would say, have all been inspired from experiences, from friendships, from one particular person or flow artist inspiring me so deeply and continuing to inspire me throughout these experiences that it imprints them within my style. It's like when I'm doing a light show or a dance routine, I'm honoring this bond that we've shared, this experience, this moment or this stream of moments that created and creates this present experience. So it's very much introducing an intention, an understanding, very much introducing awareness to the intention that you introduce when you dance, understanding. And this is where I feel on the opposite part of it, where many people get caught, is they create creative blocks or energetic blocks within the movements they do. Maybe they're judging themselves, or maybe they have negative associations between these like egoic sort of battles that exist within certain creative dimensions that they've been entering. It's really just simply about allowing yourself to get out of your head and your ego and entering a more heart-filled space. Allowing yourself to see why you began this in the first place. What do you really feel you have to gain and more so expand within this dance community or this gloving paradigm or whatever it is? Really just coming back to that joy, that root intention. Why did you begin this in the first place? And coming back and reflecting on these memories and these imprints that exist within your dance, because this is, whether you're conscious of it or not, this is really going on deep beneath the surface. Every part, every given movement that you choose, it all is an energetic expression. So coming back to this and tuning back into what this really feels and means to you will allow you to reweave this intention, and then therefore give you the ability to make energetic shifts and introduce more energy in such a way where it will be seamless, it will flow.